Do you want to be as successful at time management as Elon Musk? Then, we've got you covered. We've always said that investing your time properly is basically managing yourself and your emotions. Today we'll let you know some ways the wealthy and powerful do it. At the end of the video we'll tell you those things Elon does to stay ahead of the game. These are just 15 ways in which you can manage your time to be more productive. Number 1. Be frugal with it. Millionaires are experts in frugality, which is that moderation and self-control that they have with their assets as well as the way in which they invest them. Now consider that time is their most valuable asset. It just makes sense to be mindful of how one invests one's own time. In other words, they have their priorities set when it comes to giving importance to the things that demand it. If you are smart and manage to develop this quality, rest assured that it won't take you long to get recognized for the strength of your character, because people start to notice when you suddenly stop giving your precious attention to irrelevant activities, like sports, partying, movies, and those sorts of things. Always keep in mind that a frugal person with a plan is not someone cheap, but someone willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term results. Number 2. Start your day early. Speaking of sacrifices, there is no great reward without them, which is why wealthy people tend to go to bed early and wake up early. We don't want to tell you to be a part of the 5 o'clock club just for the sake of it, but because many studies and successful people have determined that waking up at 5 a.m. or very early in the morning makes your day perform in an impressive way. The reason behind that has to do with your brain's tendency to generate small amounts of dopamine that make you feel good when you're being productive. It's a cycle that repeats itself many times during the day, but especially in the mornings, because your senses are razor sharp when you work in a quiet environment. It's all due to chemistry. All you have to do is start the habit and the results will come eventually. Starting it's also the hardest part of the process. That's why most people don't do it or fail at doing it. Their short-term satisfaction gets the better of them, as always. In addition to that, a study conducted by researchers at Rutgers University in New Jersey and the University of Virginia and published in Experimental Physiology in September 2022 concluded that early birds in general burn more fat than night owls. It's a win-win. Number 3. Set your priorities straight. It may sound like a nag, but it's true every time your mom tells you to reevaluate your priorities. Giving the respective place and importance to each aspect of your life will make the more time-consuming or complicated tasks get completed sooner, and the short, easy tasks will be a perfect time-saving closure. Just like we said before, setting your priorities straight right from the get-go should make you realize that distractions are the number one hurdle that prevents you from going from point A to point B. Something that definitely works for us is keeping an actual written record of all the ideas that come to us. That way, it's way easier to read and then rearrange the things that should occupy your attention by level of importance. Always remember that the human brain is far from perfect, and we always delete old memories to make room for the new ones. You can bypass such a nuisance simply by writing your thoughts regularly. Number 4. Break the procrastination cycle. We know that this topic is in and of itself worthy of a whole separate video. We'll just tell you this. Procrastination is nothing more than you not being able to face your fears. And that is strictly linked to your low level of emotional intelligence. When you can't process the fear of failure, you automatically try to alleviate the pain by extending the time to reach the impending deadline. All of that is in vain. Time rarely gives second chances to those unwilling to change their ways. Understand that failure doesn't necessarily mean pain. It can also mean learning and opportunities for improvement. Master your emotions, learn to control them, and you'll see how procrastination becomes a thing of the past. Number 5. Embrace failure. Realizing that failure is just part of the process makes all the difference between merely trying and succeeding. This reminds me of a story. The story of how Jack Ma, Alibaba's founder, got rejected so many times, but he never let this mess with his perception of time. In an interview he said the following.
I failed for funny things, like a key primary school test 2 times. I failed the middle school test 3 times. Then for 3 years I tried and failed university. After that I applied to jobs and got rejected 30 times. I applied for KFC when it arrived in China. 24 people came for the job, 23 got it. I was the only one who didn't. I applied for Harvard, I got rejected 10 times.
Now, he's considered China's richest person and one of the most influential businessmen in history. And that's the beauty of managing our own expectations of time. You must come to the conclusion that the time it takes you to fail, it's time that you're investing in order to become better and not failing in the future. Always worth remembering this. Number 6. Know when to clean. Don't spend so much time sweeping or mopping. That's not going to make you money, and if it's costing you precious time that you could be spending playing with your dog or doing something that you really enjoy, then you must change your cleaning habits. It's not about your house being a total chaos either, but if you keep in mind that the mess you make will have to be picked up later, you'll think twice about throwing crumbs on that carpet that are almost impossible to clean. Maintaining healthy cleaning habits sends a strong message to our brain. It tells it that you can save time and energy by not worrying about all the things you have to do to feel comfortable in your working space. It's just as simple as that. Wealthy individuals don't spend their valuable time cleaning their own mess. That's why they have people who do that for them. Now, if you're watching this video, it means that you're not quite there yet. So, make sure to develop some decent cleaning habits while you become rich. Number 7. Avoid distractions. It is completely understandable that watching flies fly by your window is your passion, but you must stop being distracted. The more you concentrate on a task, the easier and faster it will be to complete it in a timely manner so you can appreciate even more the little free time you get. Always make a conscious effort to prioritize. Unfortunately, the biggest distractor of them all is always with you in your pocket or in your purse. A study conducted by Assistant Professor Adrian Ward and the University of Texas concluded that our cognitive capacity is significantly reduced when our smartphones are within reach, even if they're turned off. It's no wonder Silicon Valley has become one of the places where most money circulates in the entire world. They understand human insecurities and psychological patterns better than anyone, and they sure know how to capitalize on that at every given chance. The next time you realize you're being distracted by your phone, remember that they are the ones profiting from it. The wealthy determine in extreme detail when it's okay to use their smartphones, but also when it's okay to ignore them. It's about time you start doing the same. Number 8. Keep it simple. If there's something in which most entrepreneurs agree on, is that the simpler the process is, the more profitable they are. It's the same with time management. When you are mentally trying to organize your tasks by level of importance, it's easy to get carried away and get them all wrong. That's due to your brain's sheer inability to maintain focus during boring activities. That's why, if you're going to make a to-do list, the best way to write one is to discriminate big projects into small, short, and simple tasks. For example, instead of writing down something like, "Finish marketing proposal," separate that big activity into all the baby steps that it might take you anyway to accomplish such a task. Something more like, first, determine deadline. Second, write down the actual plan layout. Third, complete the designs. Fourth, do quality control. Fifth, deliver. Now, obviously this is just an example, but you get the point. Discriminate as many tasks as possible and start doing. You never know when Mr. Procrastination will attack again. Number 9. Start with little. Be smart and set smart goals. Just like we mentioned in the previous tip, you're 10 times more likely to complete a big project when you start with a small task. Be ambitious, but still be realistic. You see, finding that sweet spot between the size of the next task you must undertake is energy-consuming, but it's well worth it. Do you think Grant Cardone started with $1 million in cash when he built his real estate empire? Of course not. He started with what he could manage. Use the same principle to set realistic goals that can be upgraded over time. The more small tasks you mark as done, the better momentum you'll reach. The next thing you know is that you've achieved laser focus and nothing can stop you. Number 10. Delegation is key. Far more crucial than knowing which tasks to delegate is establishing when to delegate them. Do the urgent first and the important later. Emergencies do not wait and they must be attended promptly. The faster you attend to an urgent task, the sooner you can complete the important task. Remember that the cost of opportunity is something everybody should be aware of, even if you're just starting to manage your own time. Number 11. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Don't waste time venturing into areas that are not your thing just to prove a point. Find out what you are good at and exploit that talent so you can make the most of it. If you discover your potential and the area in which it can be played, you will be happier and more successful. One of the things we always think about is the great untapped potential each and every one of us have. In all the vastness of the universe, there has never been a better time to be alive. Quite literally. Even if you think that the current times we are living in now are dreadful, you're mistaken. And it's only a matter of perspective. You see, in no other time in human history has a single individual been able to acquire virtually any skill they set their minds to. In ancient times, only the privileged had the opportunity to change their reality. Nowadays, you can truly learn the skills you want and enhance yourself in the ways you desire. That's unprecedented in human history. So, we encourage you to take advantage of that and shape your own reality according to the things you enjoy the most. That's where true strength lies. The first step to make your own value skyrocket is to determine that your time is worth a lot of money. Number 12. The importance of pace and pauses. Managing your time responsibly begins by giving yourself a break between tasks. It can be 5 or 10 minutes, but recognizing that you need a short break to continue will prevent stress from building up and not being able to make the time work properly. Your body is not a machine, and even they require regular maintenance and periods of rest to extend their productive cycles. So, in what way are you any different? Take breaks responsibly and establish a set amount of time for each one of them. In fact, breaks are so important that you'll eventually start seeing a decline in your health from all the accumulated work if you don't take them seriously. And that's a pretty bad investment in the long term if you ask me. Always prioritize your physical and mental health. You'll save thousands of dollars in medical bills if you just set a specific time to rest between hours. And in turn, you'll also avoid spending your time at the doctor's office in the future. Number 13. Learn to say no. Come on, you can say it. Just say no. If you can't help someone with something, you must remember that your time is valuable too. And even if you want to help, saying no won't leave you looking rude. You simply can't perform that task because it's not within your usual activities. Saying no is just as good as saying yes. You just need to learn when to use each one correctly. Number 14. Become an alpha. Don't be just another follower. Be a leader. The leader of your life, your money, your assets, and a master of your time. Most people don't prosper because they are not visionary, and thus, they don't innovate. They simply act like sheep of the same flock. Thinking differently will make decision-making far easier down the line. And you'll be surprised to find out how much time you can save when you make important decisions based on your own experience. Turn into the alpha the world needs and start inspiring others with your progress. Number 15. Relax. We will always encourage you to start your own business. But in case you still have a job and your work schedule is from Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, then from Friday at 5:01 until Monday at 9 again, you are a free soul who should not be thinking about work. It is your time to rest and relax, so do yourself a favor and take it easy. The same way you learn to use your focus to make time more productive, use the very same focus to decide when you can be free and let go. Even Elon Musk agrees that family comes first, and every single effort you make in your life must be directed towards their well-being. There's no point in closing a great deal, having more free time, or getting more money if you can't possibly use those perks to be happy with the ones you love. Remember, managing your time is basically managing yourself. Sometimes life throws curveballs at us that are quite difficult to handle, but with a bit of preparation you can be more than ready to affront any changes that may approach you unexpectedly. That's why you need to always be on the lookout for those learning opportunities that will ultimately upgrade your lifestyle. In this video right here, we talk about the 15 digital skills you need to learn as soon as possible if you want to succeed in these new technological times. Check it out now by clicking right here.